Winslet is earning Oscars buzz, and deservedly so, for her latest big screen role. The actress has taken on the true story of Lee Miller, who became an acclaimed photographer during World War II. Well, Kate is currently in Sydney, and Dickie had the absolute privilege of sitting down with her to talk all things Lee.
Welcome to Australia.
Thank you so much.
It's lovely to have you here.
It's really lovely to be here.
And congratulations on the film. I mean, your performance is wonderful. And this is the ultimate passion project, really, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And I think for me, it was more the determination I had to tell Lee Miller's story, because I felt very strongly that she could have been in danger of remaining historically as this woman who is described so often as the ex-lover, former muse of Man Ray. And it just drove me crazy. Can't we just put that to one side and look at the phenomenal woman that she was and talk about the decade in her life when she did something extraordinary in going to the front line and documenting the truth behind the Nazi regime. And her story blew me away. She's the most phenomenal person I've ever played, honestly.
The events happened 80 years ago, but she's a real kind of modern woman, isn't she?
Yeah, she really is. And as you say, 80 years ago, but already Lee Miller was redefining femininity then to mean resilience and courage and strength and compassion. I think now that message is more important than ever before. And so I just needed to lift Lee's story out of the shadows and give her her rightful place at the table alongside all the men. No female photographers, very, very few, were getting permissions to go to the front line in the way that she did, and she fought for that right.
There's no women allowed in the press briefing.
You've got to be kidding me.
We don't send women to combat.
Well, that's a problem, because I'm here.
We really tried to be as authentic as we could possibly be in telling Lee's story, and by doing that we were given full and complete access to the archive that exists in England. It's an internationally renowned art archive, and it has all of Lee Miller's 60,000 negatives and prints of everything she did during the war, all of her work as a writer, her camera kit, everything. The journey for me actually began when I bought a table. It had come into an auction house owned by a couple of friends of mine, and they told me that it was a table that had been previously owned in the holiday home of the Penrose family. And Lee and Roland Penrose, they were lovers at the time. And this was the kitchen table. And Lee would cook and prepare food at this table. And so I bought this table. And it came into my home. And I just thought, my God, why hasn't anyone made a film about Lee Miller? And that was in 2015. And that was the beginning of the journey for me in piecing together how to tell Lee's story.
Need a light over here?
Here?
I stay away from that window.
They got snipers.
All of these photos are iconic, but some of them, like Hitler's bathtub.
The most famous image, Lee Miller and Davy Sherman, they were in Dachau the same day that they bribed their way into Hitler's Munich apartment, only to discover that there was hot running water in the bathroom and they hadn't touched hot water for 6 weeks. Lee took a bath in that bathtub and got her friend Davy Sherman to take an extraordinary photograph of her posing in Hitler's tub. And yeah, there was no way we couldn't not include that moment. We were very much guided by Lee's images at every step, really scrutinizing every single image down to the tiniest detail to make sure that we really got it right, creating that narrative around how she came to have the courage sometimes to put herself in those really horrific positions in order to capture the truth and bear witness and never look away. She's not looking at the bloodshed and the gunfire and the fighting and the soldiers. She's looking at the voiceless victims who were left behind. And her compassion is felt so keenly in every single one of her images.
How did you keep yourself sane, and how did you find light moments amongst it all?
Oh, there were very few, but, you know, the occasional glass of wine.
She couldn't be cooler. Love her so much, and that story is just incredible. Lee is in cinemas this Thursday. Can't wait for that.
Can't wait to see that film.
Yes,
She's a force, Kate Winslet.
She's incredible.
I'm going to call it. I think she's the best of our generation. I think she's so
wow.
good. I really do, and she's cool as.
Yeah, and you know the statements that she makes.
Yes.
Around body positivity and femininity and what that all means.
Aging as a woman in Hollywood.
Well.
Yeah.
So it's a bit cool. Kate Blanchett, Margot Robbie, you know.
I said it.
Hey there, Today fans. Sarah and
What's my name again?
Oh my goodness, Carl.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel, though. Subscribe now for more news, special reports, and amazing Aussie stories.
And Carl misbehaving,
Whoa,
of course.
that never happens.
Always happens.
What's she talking about?